Hi everybody, Michelle McClunan here, astrologer and life navigator, and I'm coming to bring you another update on the new moon, which is happening in South Africa in the early hours of the 24th of November, and in other parts of the world may happen before that on the 23rd, depending on where you are. So it's 23rd or 24th of November. And new moons, as I always say, are always a time to plant new seeds for the month ahead. It's a time to go quiet and to plant those seeds in the soil of the new season, the new month, the new lunar month. Now, this new moon is accompanied, so that you've got the sun and the moon at 1 degree of Sagittarius, and then they're accompanied by the planet Mercury as well as the planet Venus. So that's a lot of Sagittarius energy right there. And then we have the other personal planet, Mars, in Gemini. Now all those planets are what we call mutable. And then we have the ruler of this new moon, which is Jupiter, in the sign of Pisces, along with Neptune in Pisces. So that's a lot of mutable energy. Sagittarius is a mutable fire sign, 4 planets in Sagittarius. Gemini is a mutable air sign, which is about communication and about mutability and versatility in communication. And then we've got the 2 in Pisces, which is mutable water. So mutable energy, mutable water, mutable fire, mutable air, mutable earth even, is moving energy. There's nothing too steady about it, nothing too sure about it. It's exciting energy. It's optimistic energy. It's the energy of the unknown, not the energy of the known. And this new moon, we have a lot of fire energy with those 4 planets in Sagittarius. So there's a lot of fire, and the fire is being fanned by the air, which is Mars in Gemini. So it can be a little bit combustible if you're not grounding yourself. It can feel a little bit restless, especially for those of you who have a lot of earth in their chart or very little mutable energy. If you have a lot of cardinal energy or a lot of fixed energy particularly, then you might find this a little bit unstable. So there's a flame, there's a fire of, this is the upside of this new moon, because there's a big upside here. After all our time that we've spent over the last few months, which has been quite heavy, the last month, which has been eclipse season, which has been on the axis of Scorpio and Taurus, there's been a lot of heaviness. A lot of our issues have come up. A lot of our old conditioning has come up. A lot of our patterns and fears have come up. There have been difficult interactions with other people for many people. So it might have been a bit heavy, might have been a bit burdensome, a little bit like sort of in that cocoon state, moving through some darkness, some shadow work. Now, as we come into Sagittarius, there's a bit of a sort of a glimmer of light on the horizon, as we move into this more positive, this more uplifting, this more optimistic energy. From the stuff that's come up over the eclipse season, this can show us the patterns, the fears, the core beliefs that we have that don't serve us. Now, those might have come up during the Scorpio season for us to look at, because Scorpio brings it up to the surface, and our Sagittarius asks us to stand back and to look at it a little bit from a distance, just to get a little bit of distance, to stand back and look at it and say, right, what have I learned here? Sagittarius is the sign of the seeker. It's the sign of higher learning, higher understanding, spiritual consciousness. So it's where we've gone through the depths, and now we start to look and say, I've grown here. I've learned this. I'm learning this. We're all works in progress. We're walking each other home. This is a journey home for all of us. So we're all learning. None of us know all of this. We're all each other's teachers. And Sagittarius is about that learning. It's about a higher, deeper awareness. What is coming up for me right now? What am I learning from this? Is this that's coming up for me the truth? Or is it a truth that I thought I had that might not be true? It could be a belief system as opposed to a truth. So truth for me is an absolute knowing. A belief system is something that you say, well, that's true for me, but there's not a lot of depth there. So is this the truth? Is this fear that's coming up for me? Is it the truth? Or is it something I've been told that I should believe? Or something I've been conditioned to believe about the world, about myself, about my gender, about my achievements, about my lack of achievements, or whatever it is. Are these things that are coming up for me real and true? And what is real and what is true is another question that we might ask at a Sagittarius new moon. And remembering this ushers in the month of Sagittarius, because it's right at the beginning of the sign of Sagittarius, this new moon. And interestingly enough, this also is the first of 5 new moons that are going to happen at 101, at 1 degree, which does suggest that something new is arising, is coming into our collective consciousness. Because that's quite amazing that for the next 5 months it'll all be at 1 degree, which is always the start of a sign, the start of something new. So it'll go through the signs in the next few months. So it's to look at that. People that have got a lot of mutable energy will feel this quite a lot. So if you've got planets in the sign of Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, or Pisces, especially in the beginning beginning degrees, so sort of 0 to 5 or 6 degrees, you'd feel this more. And obviously if you're Sagittarian, you'd feel it the most because there's a lot of energy in Sagittarius. So it's really to ask ourselves, what is true, what is not, what is coming out for us, what is coming up for us, what is the higher learning from all this that we've been through, what is emerging for me in this moment, where do I hold myself back with my own fears, with things that I've been told or things that I've been conditioned, or as a result of being betrayed or hurt in the past, I'm now too scared to do that. Is that true? And should that hold me back? Or is this a time where I can actually step back, take a deep breath, and actually move through it? Because that's what Sag asks us. It asks us to be adventurous, to, yes, look at the risks, be cautious of them, look at all the different facets of everything, but to actually move through the fears, to actually see the bigger picture. This is all remembering that this energy is not stable, so I would not necessarily want to put pen to paper on a very long-term project at this time because it's mutable. It's very changeable. You might find you change all the time. You might find people around you are very changeable. You might find that they're a bit combustible, they're a bit fired up, or they're just very hazy, very foggy. You can't really get an answer out of anyone. You can't really get anything moving because it's kind of all drifting up there in the ethers somewhere. So if that is happening, it's fine. Just allow that time to actually flow through and give it enough time to actually allow it to emerge from the mists of the unknown and the uncertainty. So I wouldn't want to try and force anything right now. This isn't the time necessarily to force a resolution. I see this as a time to hold the possibility of the biggest imagined vision that you can imagine. So to allow yourself to envision the most beautiful vision for your life, but to hold it lightly, not to get too attached to what exactly it looks like or how exactly you're going to accomplish it, but allow yourself to dream that big. Allow yourself to see that you are an energetic being and absolutely you're a co-creator. So see that potential, but allow it to unfold because you're working in concert with the universe. You're flowing with it. You're dancing with it. You're not dancing on your own. And this energy is saying, enjoy the dance, enjoy the journey, but don't get too tied up with how it has to look. And if the fears come in, to see them. Are these valid fears? Is this something that I should actually be careful of? Is this something that I should take cognizance of? Or is it just a deep fear that I have that is no longer true and is no longer serving me? So it's a beautiful new moon. It really is a beautiful new moon to plant the seeds for purpose. We all want purpose. To ask yourself, what is my purpose? What is our purpose as people on the planet? Why are we here? And it's not just for our own ego gratification. I believe that we're here for a much bigger purpose. And how can I feed into that? Especially now, especially with what's going on, especially with the challenges that we face on our planet. This is about being truthful and moving into that truth, embracing that truth, embracing our oneness, embracing love, embracing expanded consciousness, not tunnel vision. I'm told that, so therefore I agree and I accept it. No, it's looking at the bigger picture and saying, no, I'm not sure that works for me. I'm not sure that resonates with me, because my beliefs may have changed at this point in my life. And if my beliefs have changed, then how will that actually enable me to step into the new, to step into uncertainty, but to step into it with full commitment, to step into that uncertainty? So I drew a card for us, and as usual, I wasn't going to pull a card from the Divine Feminine pack because this is quite a masculine moon, but she kind of asked me to. And as we would have it, this pack is just amazing. It always gives us what we need. I pulled, and this is for guys too, by the way, even though it's the Divine Feminine. We all do have a feminine. I pulled the card Bridget, which is this one over here. She's the goddess of the eternal flame. And this is a very flamey new moon. I'm an eternal flame, and each day my light goes brighter. So I'm not going into the whole background of who Bridget was, but it just says Bridget represents the essence of an inner dawn and the healing that comes from knowing that the best is yet to come. I love that. It represents the essence of the inner dawn. So it's a new moon, it's a dawn, but it's an inner dawn, and the healing that comes from knowing that the best is yet to come. Okay, when your soul selects this card, there is that moment when you're making your way through the dark, Scorpio, and suddenly, after what feels like days or months or even years, a ray of light comes through you. A lightning happens. Each step isn't quite as hard to make as the one before. You feel a great shift begin, as if you're now headed towards something new, something even brighter. Bridget is the essence of that first flame, that first ray of light. She reminds us that the darkness never lasts. Beautiful. Bridget's eternal flame represents the truth, that the light never leaves us and can never be extinguished. It simply gets obscured or blocked from us, usually by our own unconscious or our own fears, our own minds. It simply gets obscured and blocked from us. She reminds us that every day is actually filled with light. There are many days and times in our lives when we endure thick cloud cover, when that flame that exists within us is blocked by pain or confusion. Bridget is the sweet sound that reaches us in the dark and reminds us that we have never been on this journey alone. Bridget is the sign that the dawn is here because we have made it through the dark winter. We can lift our head. The healing has happened, and now each day is bound to be brighter. Isn't that beautiful? The soul voice meditation, what allows me to feel light more often every day? What allows me to feel light more often every day? That's such good advice. What is it that brings lightness to you? What is it? Is it sitting outside? Is it connecting with people? Is it going and having a coffee somewhere beautiful? Is it walking in nature? Is it making art, music, cooking? What is it that lights your flame? Sagittarius is the sign of passion and purpose and enthusiasm. And enthusiasm comes from all that is. It's our divine right, actually, enthusiasm. It's different from excitement, which has got a bit of an edge of fear. Enthusiasm comes from a deep place. When you're enthusiastic about something, you just want to do it because you love it. So that's what this is actually asking us to do. What makes us feel light? And then do more of that. And see if you can look at the possibilities in your life from that perspective. So if it was possible for me to be more like this, to feel more of this light, what would that mean? And let that be the guiding light going forward as we move through the next phase and the next cycle. So there's definitely a lightening. It's beautiful. In our Inner Space community, my partner and I run a community called Inner Space. We're going to be looking at expanding horizons, which is a beautiful theme as we prepare for the new year, as January is almost upon us. And it's a lovely theme to get us through silly season as well. So you can join us just for the month if you like, or for the whole year. We've got a beautiful, vibrant, very supportive community. So I hope that helps. Just allow yourself to take those arrows and put those beautiful sparks, send those sparks out into the ethers, the sparks of possibility, but don't be too concerned about the outcome. Just focus on this journey. Focus on the light of now, what you have right now, and the place that you find that light right now. Because that's the essence. And that's when we're feeling that then fuels the possibilities and the potentials that are waiting for us. If you'd like to book a reading, you're welcome to contact me. It might be a reading in January because I will be taking a little break over December, but you might still be able to get one before I take that break. And if you like this video, please subscribe and hit the notification bell, and then you'll be notified when I put a video up every 2 weeks or so. Thank you for listening, and sending you lots and lots of love, and remember to plant those seeds of light and those seeds of possibility on the 24th, or the 23rd, or the 24th. Thanks everybody, lots of love.